I am from China. My name is Jimin. Why I come here? Because here the professor, several professors, they told me there is a Helena Valley here. Maybe there are some ruins of stone ruins, probably artificial ruins. So they want to know if this is Chinese made or not. So I come here. I can dating this the age, probably, and dating the age of the ruins. So if so, we can have a knowledge about what time this was made. So and when we came here, we went to the top of the mountain hill. We find a specific stone with engraved words like Chinese word Yuan. If Yuan, you know, this Yuan Dynasty in China is about 13th century. We don't know what the meaning of this stone, but we try to have a knowledge about the age of the time. So we have a chronology study here. Actually, it's difficult to date the age of the here. We try to find, you know, this stone, man, you know, they try to put that together. We try to find the bottom stone, and we move the bottom stone. There is a surface not exposed to sunlight, so we can try to get sample from the surface soil, and then we bring it to the laboratory. We can analyze the elemental uranium, potassium, thorium, so we can have know the dose rate of the three elements. Then we you know analyze the sample. So have a totally dose we call equivalent dose, and then we know the annual dose. So then we can have the age.
I'm a researcher from the School of Education, Edith Cowan University. I've been involved with Lynda on this research since 2015. We've been friends for quite a long time, so I've known of the project for over a decade. It's difficult for someone like Lynda, who has so much knowledge and understanding of this site and the mathematics involved, to get it published, to get it out to a wider audience. So my role is to make sure that the universities are able to promote her work. Hence we can go to international conferences, the ones that we've been to in Beijing, Santiago de Compostela in Spain, and in Fremantle, and for any publications too. As a gatekeeper for the research, I've also been able to get the official permit from the government to access this site because it is a registered Aboriginal site. So we needed permission from the Whadjuk Working Party through the Southwest Aboriginal Land and Sea Council. So I'm the one that does all the paperwork and all the admin, and also does Lynda's proofreading, putting together her ideas into a draft form and then trying to get it out to publication. An interesting thing about the research, and another wall that we come across, is that my expertise is actually in the visual arts. I'm a visual art educator. Lynda's background is actually in music. She's a writer, a singer, and still very talented in that regard. But I suppose as an educator, what we're aiming to show is that two creative minds can actually link into the sciences, because I think as science, we think very much the same as scientists. And anybody can develop a body of knowledge with a lot of heavy work. So after well over a decade of some heavy work, I consider Lynda to be an expert in her field, even though she doesn't have the academic papers or parchment to prove that. And it's a collaboration. I think the fact that we can think left of field a little bit lets us look at different possibilities, and that's been a successful approach for us.
Yeah, I'm an engineer in the School of Engineering, ECU, and also I'm a physicist. I'm interested in every respect of the physical things. And last year, Miss Lynda Nutter, she told me a very big story regarding the Helena historical site, and this is possible to be built maybe a few hundred years back. And there is a very good technology I know, which called photoluminescence dating. but we don't have the equipment and we don't have expertise. So we start searching, and we found a very big partner from China, Professor Sun, and he is a specialist in the photoluminescence. So then we established some connections and invited him to come here to Australia and do a photoluminescence dating experiment around the site in order to determine whether this is really built back to 800 or 900 years ago.
Kaya Wanji. Hi, my name's Nick Abraham. I'm here representing the Southwest Aboriginal Land and Sea Council. My family connections are Abraham, Bennell, Humphrey, Hume, Mippy, Worrell, Nettle, Harris. And we're part of the traditional owner concepts of this budja, Nyunga budja, and as part of the Southwest Aboriginal Land and Sea Council process and the working party is that we're here to absorb the crew here today to make sure that our Nyunga interests aren't being disturbed by this registered site. But it's great to sit down and see what they can come up with in terms of that theory that they have in terms of connections to Beijing, but ultimately this is still Nyunga budja, and we're here to make sure and to protect our Nyunga interest.
Hello, my name's Herbert BROPHO. I'm from the Swan Valley. A couple of years back, I think, I came here with Lynda, and Lynda told me about this place here, and the actual person that found the rock up there was Phil, but Phil couldn't be here today. It would have been if they had a bit of burn off, we would have found some more evidence of what these fellows are looking for. It's about astronomy and about reading the stars, and as you know, as Indigenous people, we've been reading the stars and to find our way home, food sources and weather, whatever. It was part of our culture. So we're here today with the mob from over the sea, from overseas, who come from a long way, to try and get this place recognised on the map as a significant place for two different cultures. I would like to see the place as as it is, with writing of knowing the area, or what was it used for, and not to be touched or any way, just left as it is for tourists, so people can come out and know about these areas. And I reckon this place will be a very interesting area for the people that come from over that side of the country, because they have some of the history in here too, you know. As we see, they've been here, they've done a lot of things. So by us opening the doors and welcoming them into our country to come and find, as I say, left history behind, and they need to know about it, that their ancestors was here too, you know, and was with Aboriginal people. So I just hope this little gathering keeps going into the future.
Professor Jimin Sun has come from Beijing to conduct what is called thermoluminescence testing. This is sort of like the more modern day version of carbon dating. And so we'll be collecting sand and quartz grain samples from underneath the bottom layer of the wall, and that sample will be exposed to radiation, and depending on how the light responds to the samples, Jimin Sun will be able to determine the construction date of the walls here.